The crystalline chamber of the Galactic Council hummed with barely contained contempt as Ambassador Chenwei entered, flanked by two figures that drew curious stares from the assembled delegates. The three humans moved with a quiet confidence that seemed almost predatory in the sterile diplomatic environment. "Ah, the Terrans arrive," sneered Councillor Vexthak, his chitinous mandibles clicking in amusement. The Zephyrian's compound eyes gleamed with malicious joy. "Tell me, Ambassador, have you brought your, what do you call them, veterans to intimidate us?" Ripples of laughter echoed through the chamber. The hegemony delegates hissed their approval, while the Crystalline Confederation's representatives chimed in melodious mockery. To them, these three humans looked unremarkable, small, soft, lacking the natural weapons or armor that marked true warriors across the galaxy. Ambassador Chen's expression remained neutral, but Captain Sarah Martinez felt her jaw tighten. Beside her, Master Sergeant Johnson's weathered hands remained steady, while Lieutenant Commander Torres simply observed the room with the cold calculation of a predator. "Honored counselors," Chen began, "Earth requests consideration for our application to the Galactic Defense Coalition. Our species offers—" "What could you possibly offer?" interrupted High Counselor Zachmore, his massive frame dwarfing the podium. The Titan's voice boomed across the chamber like distant thunder. "Your people have barely achieved interstellar travel. You possess no natural weapons, no chitinous armor, no energy projection capabilities. Your lifespans are laughably short." Captain Martinez stepped forward, her combat boots echoing in the sudden silence. "Permission to demonstrate, Counselor?" The request was so unexpected that Zachmore blinked his 6 eyes in sequence. "Demonstrate what exactly?" "What humans call warfare," Martinez replied simply. The chamber erupted in laughter again, louder this time. Vexthak slapped his thorax with multiple appendages. "Oh, this should be entertaining." "Very well, little human. Show us your warfare." A holographic arena materialized in the center of the chamber, a standard combat simulation used for testing military capabilities. The environment loaded, a rocky canyon with limited cover, multiple elevation changes, and scattered debris. "Standard rules," announced the Council's AI. "Non-lethal simulation. 3 human participants versus 3 volunteer hegemony shock troopers." The hegemony delegation hissed in pleasure. Their shock troopers were legendary, 8-foot-tall reptilian warriors with natural armor plating, razor-sharp claws, and reaction times that bordered on precognitive. As the 3 humans stepped into the simulation, whispers filled the chamber. "Look how small they are. No natural weapons at all. This will be over in seconds." Master Sergeant Johnson cracked his neck and pulled out what appeared to be a simple metal tube. "Ma'am, permission to show them what Fallujah taught us." "Granted, Sergeant." The simulation began. The shock troopers charged immediately, their massive forms thundering across the rocky terrain with devastating speed. Their strategy was simple and effective, overwhelming force applied with brutal efficiency. It lasted exactly 47 seconds. The humans didn't run. They didn't take defensive positions. Instead, they did something that no species in the galaxy had ever witnessed in combat. They became ghosts. Captain Martinez vanished into cover that shouldn't have existed, using shadows and angles that the arena's designers never intended. Her movements were economical, precise, and utterly silent. When she emerged, it was behind the first shock trooper, her training knife at what would have been a lethal position. Lieutenant Commander Torres demonstrated something even more unsettling. He allowed a shock trooper to close within striking distance, then moved with fluid grace that seemed to bend the laws of physics. The massive warrior's own momentum became his downfall as Torres redirected the charge, sending the hegemony soldier crashing into the canyon wall. But it was Master Sergeant Johnson who truly silenced the chamber. The grizzled veteran faced the largest of the 3 shock troopers head-on. When the warrior's claws descended toward his head, Johnson didn't dodge. He stepped forward inside the arc of the attack and struck with surgical precision, not once but 17 times in the span of 3 heartbeats. Each strike targeted joints, nerve clusters, and pressure points that the shock trooper's own armor couldn't protect. When the simulation ended, 3 hegemony warriors lay motionless while 3 humans stood unmarked. The silence in the chamber was absolute. "How?" whispered Counselor Vexthak, his earlier arrogance evaporating like morning mist. Master Sergeant Johnson holstered his equipment with practiced ease. Counselor, my species didn't evolve with natural weapons because we didn't need them. We turned everything else into a weapon instead. Captain Martinez gestured to the simulation's rocky terrain. Every environment becomes our advantage. Every piece of debris becomes a tool. Every shadow becomes concealment. Lieutenant Commander Torres added quietly, "We don't fight fair, Counselor. We fight to win." Ambassador Chen stepped forward as the implications settled over the assembled delegates like a heavy shroud. Honored Council, humanity requests membership in the Galactic Defense Coalition not because we need protection, but because the galaxy needs protectors. High Counselor Zach Moore leaned forward, his massive frame suddenly seeming less imposing. Your warriors? How many of these veterans does Earth possess? Currently active military personnel number approximately 25 million. Chen replied calmly. Veterans with combat experience number roughly 100 million. The Crystalline Confederation's delegate spoke in chiming tones that trembled with newfound respect. 100 million? Warriors like these three? Captain Martinez exchanged glances with her companions. Counselor, with all due respect, these three haven't seen real combat in over a decade. Our active duty forces would consider this a light training exercise. The chamber remained silent for long minutes as the council absorbed this information. Finally, High Counselor Zach Moore spoke, his voice carrying a weight that hadn't been there before. The Galactic Defense Coalition unanimously approves Earth's application for full membership. We would be honored to call humanity our allies. As the three humans filed out behind Ambassador Chen, Captain Martinez caught the whispered conversations beginning to ripple through the chamber. Did you see how they moved? Like they were born for war. No wonder their planet survived. Outside the chamber, Master Sergeant Johnson chuckled. Think we made an impression, Captain? Martinez smiled grimly. Sergeant, I think we just changed how this galaxy thinks about warfare. She was right. Within a year, human tactics became a required course at every military academy in the galaxy. The species that had been laughed at for their apparent weakness became the templates for a new kind of warrior. After all, when you can't evolve natural weapons, you learn to make everything else lethal instead. And that, the galaxy learned, made humans the most dangerous species of all.